Ah, that one's just fucking... We're live on this one now. Right. Oh, what happens if I end the stream? Come on. Don't let me down. Ooh.
Oh, it's there. It's gone again.
Hang on. Yeah, but that's because I think I flicked mic off onto a different window for a sec.
Yeah, it's back again. Okay.
Everything's in the right place and it's streaming, right?
Yeah.
Right. What we need to do now is tell everyone it's a different link.
Fuck's sake.
Right, hold on.
It's going to be fine for people after the fact, isn't it?
Yeah. So now I need to go into the other one that's waiting. Tell you what, Mike, you're going to have to be bloody entertaining now after all this.
Oh, right. It's down to me.
Yeah.
WhatsApp that link to me. Can you?
Yes.
Or email it, and I'll change it on the
WhatsApp it.
on the text on that video.
Yeah. Right, that's the new link. That one seems to be working. Ah. Yay. I've got a feeling it's working. Can't hear anything though. Oh. Right. I think we're going to want to reframe this, Jim.
I think that's your department.
Well, okay. Must be something like that, I suppose. It's going to take me ages to figure it out what it looks like though. Oh, that's all right. How about that?
Yeah. Okay.
Crotch shot though, that's the only thing.
Where's that fucking video?
Need that laptop around here.
How do I? Oh, I've got to go to YouTube Studio, haven't I, to do that?
Oh, who have we got in? Who's in? We've got a few in. Evening, guys. Can someone just give us a sound check, just to make sure they can hear everybody? And also, whether or not you can hear our guest, Mike.
Hello, everyone.
What's the time delay, Benji?
I think the time delay is about 20 seconds, something like that, on average.
Content. Edit. Change that link.
Sounds good. Well done. Cheers, Matt. On the bright side, every time we do one of
What
these,
an absolute
every time we do
hell.
one of these, it's just as shit to get it started. I don't seem to be able to learn anything every time we do it.
We spent an hour and a half this afternoon.
Well, it worked perfectly this afternoon, didn't it? We went out
Making
of
it-
our way so that we wouldn't have this problem, and then you connected your new camera, and everything
all my
stopped
fault.
working.
Let me save that at least. Right, okay.
Yeah, good.
Okay. So has the message got through for the change of link?
It seems to have. Yeah, we got a few in. I think there might still be some stragglers left in the other one, but
At least when it's
Not a lot I could do about
you
that.
know, most of the views are after the fact anyway, so
Yeah.
it's going to be fine, isn't it? People are going to find it.
We lined up all right.
I think so.
That'll be okay, won't it? Ah, right. Now we've done that, I'm going
Right.
to get a beer.
Okay, get a beer. Can you get me another one?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Oh, you're on Moretti.
Yeah, driving beer.
Driving beer. What's that? We want golden beer. That'll do.
And can I use
You
your
able to open
bottle
it,
to
Yeah.
open my bottle?
Can you open mine as well?
Not unless you give me another bottle.
There is a bottle opener around here somewhere. Yeah. Oh, why is that one different to that one? Cheers.
Put the lid there.
Oh, I'll put that back in the fridge. Right, that's it.
Right, there's a few people's at 9 in.
Yep, something like that. Am I going to be too low if I scoot down here? Oh, what happened to Mike then? He went all frozen.
No, he's still there. He's frozen fucking solid. He can't move.
The internet dropped out for a second.
Been
there.
waiting.
Oh, is that what it is?
Waiting so long
Yeah, I think
in his
so.
cold
Oh, very
garage.
good.
Technology.
Yeah.
Okay, let's kick it off. So we've got a few people watching.
Yeah.
Welcome, Mike. I'll give Mike a bit of an introduction. This isn't the first time I've seen you in the flesh, is it? Because we did a little bit of testing
no.
video and stuff. So
Yeah.
Mike is one of the original patrons, aren't you? I think. Seems like a long time. Maybe
been a
not
long
original,
while,
but a good long time ago. So for those of you who don't know, probably the guys that are here already know this, and you're probably already patrons. But we've got a Discord group, which we all sort of a bit of workshop banter, and we share service information, and it's turning into, I think you'll agree, Mike, it's turning into quite a good little group, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Quite cool people have joined. So Mike's probably the most active person in the group, or one of the most active people. So I figured we were going to do a little testy and have a guest on. Thought it'd be quite cool to speak to Mike and see the whites of his eyes rather than just texting and stuff. So where you from, Mike? Yorkshire somewhere.
Yeah, Catrick.
Okay, and these are genuinely questions I don't know the answers to. So you're mobile, right? That's what I gleaned from the conversations we've had over the months. When did you?
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that?
About 10 years.
Oh wow, okay, so a good
Yeah.
long while. So what's?
However, I haven't always done it mobile. I think I started maybe 5 years ago.
Okay.
But in the early days, what I used to do was pick up bikes and then bring them back to mine and then work on them there.
Okay.
That's the way I worked initially. And then
Right.
it ended up being more of a mobile side,
Right.
which worked better.
You're doing what I did probably, in that you were trying to avoid big overheads and having a unit and all the shit that went along with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair play. And so, what's your background? It's rude to ask somebody's age, but how old are you?
38.
It's rude to ask, but how old are you?
38.
Right. Okay. Okay.
I remember being 38.
That was a long time ago for me. So what's your sort of work history from like leaving school, kind of?
God, I think the first thing was I did an engineering apprenticeship.
Okay.
So, lathes, milling machines, things like that.
That's pretty cool.
And then I ended up in the optics industry, working at opticians,
Right.
making the lenses and spectacles. So, not related to motorbikes.
Right. I'm guessing bikes have always been in your life, though. Like for most of us, you had bikes.
Yeah, just like my first bike. I think I crashed it in the first year, and they ended up taking the engine out, swapping it into another frame, doing a lot of stuff, hands-on, my own stuff, take the engine apart, work out how it works.
Yeah.
And then getting an understanding of that. And then, about 10 years ago, went self-employed. I had a t-shirt printing business with my brother and dad.
Okay.
And that went, that, you know, you can see how many businesses do that nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, we were in the early days, so it was really a big thing when we started. And then on the side, I started my own business. I put it out there that I was going to do car and motorbike mechanics, basically.
Okay.
But I ended up just going straight to the motorbikes because it was a lot easier than working on cars.
Groveling around in the shit underneath the car's not a lot of fun, is it? No.
Definitely not. I think I went out to a farm and I ended up working on like a Land Rover or something.
Okay.
Trying to free up some seized brakes.
Enough to put you off.
Covered in cow shit.
So I was put off that pretty quick.
Yeah. Right, okay. And so you're like most motorbike mechanics in that you're self-taught, really. You've always you've been always had your hands dirty, and you've just So have you worked? Go on. Sorry.
My business like really has just come from experience, really. So everything that I've got up to this point is just purely experience based.
Right. Okay. Fair dues.
Watching a lot of YouTube.
Yeah.
Going through the manuals, you know.
Yeah.
And then learn as you go.
Well, you seem, I mean, I don't want to blow smoke up your ass, but from the sort of conversations and, you know, you're always straight in there when somebody in the group asks for advice on something, you know, you're always straight in with, I would consider spot on advice, you know, so, you know, you appear to really know your onions and know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's a lot of experience.
Yeah, there's nothing like is getting your hands dirty and fucking stuff up, and you learn quite quickly, don't you?
What sort of area do you cover, Mike? How big's your area? How big's your area, please?
Well, yeah, it's a big area, Yorkshire. So I go as far south as Bradford, Leeds, and as high as Northumberland, really. So that's about an hour's drive.
Yeah.
You know, from one to the other from me.
How do you work your sort of call out structure? How do you price your jobs? In that, I'll give you my example. So I have obviously I've got my hourly rate, and I've got my call out charge, which is $44.50. So my minimum charge, if you like, is an hour's labour, which I've just put it up now. It's $69.50 an hour, so £70 an hour effectively, and it's £45 for the call out. So it's an hour's labour, and the call out is the minimum, and that's within a 25-mile radius, and then it's £1 a mile after that. So that sort of has this natural sort of filtering effect. Do you know what I mean? So how do you work it in terms of...
It's exactly the same.
Right, okay. Right. So
I mean, I started out, I think I was charging £20 to go to people, you know, within half an hour or so.
Right.
And then quickly it sort of like works itself out that you're driving a long way for 20 quid.
Yeah. No, that was my experience.
So prices gone up, so yeah.
Because you...
It has changed. Mine is, I work on £40 for the first 20 miles, I think.
Okay.
And then £1 a mile after that.
Yeah, no, that's a good way of doing it. Yeah. Yeah, you quickly realise, don't you, that, or certainly I did when I started. I started in 2002, so quite a long time ago, over 20 years ago. But because I'd always, you know, been a jobbing mechanic and worked for other people and never been self-employed, I assumed that, you know, I had to be the cheapest, that people... And we've had conversations like this in the group, I know we have, about price. And I was just convinced that people would be buying on price, and I had to be the sort of cheapest, you know, in the market to get the business. But I've since learned that actually it's the complete reverse of that. And actually you want to sort of, rather than trying to scratch around at the bottom of the market, you need to try and position yourself at the top if you can. Yeah, price is a funny thing. We could do like hours of podcast about how to price, because it sends a message and stuff, doesn't it? So are you super busy? What's your diary look like?
Yeah, I think generally I've never had a quiet week.
Right.
Even during lockdown,
it
was busy.
Yeah,
kept myself busy.
Of course, we were allowed to work, weren't we? Because we were mechanics,
critical,
so we could keep on going.
I stopped for a fortnight, and then I think I saw your video, and I thought, yeah, I'll carry on. You know, the one that you put up.
Yeah, I did that bit to camera, didn't I? Just saying,
Yeah.
sort of to everybody, look, I'm still open and I'm still. I found that my business changed a lot actually, like during COVID. In that, I don't know whether you've experienced this or not, but I'm looking at. If people are wondering if I'm cross-eyed, I'm not. I'm looking at Mike on this monitor, and the camera's there, so I'm looking.
No. The camera's there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right.
So when
then.
you're looking at Mike, you're looking at
Oh,
everybody
that's
else.
all right then. I thought it was going a bit wonky.
No, I'm keeping an eye on the chat
Oh,
in
okay.
here.
All right, fair enough.
Keep the chat coming, guys, because we'll quiz Mike on some of this afterwards.
Right, okay,
I'm sure.
cool. Yeah, so my business changed during lockdown a lot. In that, and I'd be interested in what your experience was. But a lot of people started doing these projects that they'd been saving up, so dragging all these bikes out of the back of garages and stuff. So I started getting a lot more. I've always done engine building and stuff, but I started getting a lot more sort of restoration type work. Hence you've probably seen the vapor blasting cabinet I built and stuff. That was that was inspired by all the classic stuff I had that needed to be vapor blasted. And
do you think that was a symptom of lockdown forcing people with classic stuff to take more of an interest?
No, absolutely. I'm sure what's happened talking to these people is that they'd had these old bikes in the back of garages, and they're like, "I'll get to that one day. One day, I'm going to drag that out." Lockdown
sort of forced them into it,
and that started started the whole carburettor restoration thing, because, of course, you drag something out of the back of a barn
for ages. Yeah.
First thing before you do anything is you want to get it to run, don't you? Yeah. So the carbs have got to be done, and I don't know what it. People seem to be scared to death of carburetors these days for some reason. I don't quite know why. So what's your experience of that? What sort of work are you doing? Are you doing modern stuff? Are you doing?
Yeah, I do quite a lot of restoration. Not like classic bikes. I do sort of 90s era. So
I see you're showing your age, mate. They're classics to a lot of people now.
Yeah, well, I've got a good friend, a local business, who does classic motorcycles, and he concentrates on the 1900 to 1980.
Yeah,
that's his cut off. So I get a lot of work from him.
The golden era of motorcycles,
too modern,
really, isn't it? Yeah.
For him.
Right, okay.
So there is, that side of it. I don't really see anything before 1990, really.
Right, okay.
To do up.
Yeah.
Having said that, I've got an RD350 LC
right.
in bits at the minute. So.
Right. Is that, you posted some pictures of that, didn't you? You've had the...
Yeah.
Was it Cerakoted? Was it the bare crankcases?
Yeah.
That looks sweet.
Done the casings. We've done pretty much everything now.
Right.
It just needs to be put together. But I've had it for years.
Right, okay.
And it's one of those projects where the guy's not in a rush, but he keeps.
It's not yours. It's something you do for somebody.
Yeah. The guy bought it for a steal. Really, he bought it for £800.
No way.
Like complete.
Fair play.
And he keeps looking on eBay and texting me and saying, "There's no rush. It's just they're going up, aren't they?"
Yeah. Of course,
no rush.
Yeah. How do you? That's a difficult one to price, because I know stuff like that. From my own experience, is just a fucking time suck, isn't it? It just consumes so much labour. How do you sort of agree? Okay, right, to build the engine, it'll be this much, and then you just. How do you price that?
I never really priced anything.
Right.
I mean, I've done that mistake a few times where you price something.
And then you end up getting,
that'll be 400 quid.
No, absolutely.
That'll be 300 quid, and then you're tied to it, aren't you?
We've all been burnt by that, haven't we? Definitely.
Yeah.
So you do it in little chunks for him, do you? And then send him an invoice for the bit you've done.
This case, it's been a long process, but he wanted to do the frame and the wheels, the powder coating, so.
Oh, Mike.
Stream's he'll come back.
No, the stream's all right, isn't it?
It's Mike's internet, I think.
It's Mike's internet, yeah. Can the rest of you hear us? I think we might have to wait for Mike for a minute. Oh no,
he's back.
He's back.
Are you back?
Can you hear us, Mike?
Yeah.
It dropped out then. We got frames. What did we get? The last bit for it, powder coating frames and something.
The client was going to do that himself.
It's not the best case for for the restorations that I do, but that one, it's just a slow burner, really. So
Right. It's good
whereas
having
I've
in it
got-
to fill little gaps in your diary, stuff like that,
Yeah.
to sort of,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you get like a day when you can do the casings or, you know, the crank and the bits and pieces.
Yeah.
But the other ones that I generally do, I try and do, you know, as quick as possible, really. So I've got a 2002 Phaser. I don't know if you saw the photos of the engine that were pretty bad.
Yeah, I think I did see that. Yeah.
Well, that one, you know, that's been a process. Get it running, and then I've spoke to her, and she's agreed to get the cosmetics done. So I've painted the engine,
Okay.
and the frame's got a little bit of a touch up on the wheels. So they're not full restorations. They're just sort of
Yeah.
what you can.
Yeah, just do uppers. Yeah. No, fair play. And then from summer to winter, what does the type of work change quite a lot? Because I find that, or is it the same all year round for you?
It tends to be the same, really.
Right,
I mean,
okay.
I do get quite a bit of carburetor work throughout the year, really.
Yeah.
That seems to be the main one.
Yeah.
A lot of garages now, they either don't want to do it.
Mate, they haven't got the skills.
Can't plug a laptop into carburetors, can
No,
you?
that's exactly right. Yeah, they just haven't got the skills for it. Yeah.
Chris KTM on the chat has got a good one. He says during lockdown, he said he bought a 2003 GSF 600 Bandit. He'd seen it do the previous 10 plus years sitting in a neighbour's shed and it never moved. He said the Bandit was stripped and eventually put back together, replacing all serviceable parts. Finally came the battery. He plugged it in and it only done 1,895 miles.
Fair play.
It's a bonus.
That is a bonus.
Yeah.
Crikey. So have you got any questions, Mike?
Well, I haven't got it written down now.
No, we're drilling you. What's that behind you? Is that a WR? What is that?
No, it's a YZ250.
Why is it yours?
Yeah.
Oh, you're like your two strokes. Man after
I
man
do,
and a half.
actually, yeah, look at
Does it? Do you ride it much? Is it what is it?
Yeah, it's road legal. I'm with the TRF, so I go out with them sometimes.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a few lads that go around the forests and things.
Right.
You know.
Okay.
So,
I used to be a TRF member a few years ago. I had a stupid bike for Green Laning, but I had an XR 650R.
Yeah.
You know, the water cooled one. I wish I'd
the
never.
water cooled one.
Yeah,
right.
the water cooled one. Yeah, that I wish I'd never sold it now because I think it was absolutely mint, and I got about three, and it was just after I'd moved into the house I'm in now, so it was 10 years ago, and I only got about $3,500 for it. And I looked during lockdown, and they were like $6.5 grand for a nice one.
Yeah.
Like doubled in value during lockdown.
Yeah.
I mean, stuff went mental, didn't it? The price of stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's come down a bit, but it's not come back down to anywhere near where it was.
How much is a brand new motorbike these days? I literally wouldn't have if I went into a showroom and I wanted a brand new R6.
You'd have a shock.
But what's the ballpark?
You're not getting anything worth having for less than 15 grand, are you, Mike? You shouldn't think.
Are you not?
No, 20 grand. What's like an S1000RR cost?
Yeah, I have no idea.
20.
I think they're 18. I think they're 18.
Yeah.
Now.
Hey, Jesus Christ.
I remember when you could get I'm aging myself. I remember when you could get a new Fireblade, right, for $5 grand.
Is that old money or new?
I remember it was D&K Motorcycles,
Bloody hell.
and it would have been 1991 maybe.
It's true.
And they had a load of American imports. They'd obviously got container loads of them.
Yeah.
And they were doing them for $4,995.
I suppose
Fucking
five
new.
grand was, a lot then,
Suppose it
wasn't
was,
it? I suppose.
Yeah.
They do say that.
So what else bikes? Fucking I can't speak. What other bikes have you got, Mike?
I've still got my first bike, which I crashed. The FJ1200.
Right. Your first sort of big bike, if you like.
Well, that was my first bike. Yeah.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. A mate of mine was selling his bike, and he said he only wanted 250 quid for it, and it was hard to pass up. But the first trip out, the first holiday really on it, stuck it into the front of a Renault Megane.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Ben will talk to you about motorbike accidents. Crikey.
It's still with me. I've still got it.
Right. So how old were you when you started riding?
21.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair play. So you did. What were the licensing laws there? Did you have all this?
It was.
You know,
Big
about
stuff, or was it one
it was
test and done?
Yeah, it was
direct
basically
access, wasn't it?
You could.
It
you
would have
could
been
do,
direct if he's
You
38
could do a
now.
license
Right.
under 21, 17 to 21, but it would be restricted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I waited until I was 21.
I
Do
see.
direct
Just
access
did,
at 21,
right,
can't
then.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair play.
I think that's what I did. I went from, did CBT and then I did direct access.
Yeah. What year would that have been?
Fucking hell. 99?
Fucking hell.
Maybe.
I got my bike license like a week after my 17th birthday.
Did you?
Yeah.
My brother did that. He went straight in and did it. I
was-
dicked around for
That was
ages on.
1990.
Right.
And that was just, you pass your test and
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
done it. And I was working for the Honda shop, and it was fucking fantastic because I got full license. Yeah, go and ride this.
Go and
Yeah,
have
go and
anything you
ride
want,
this.
yeah.
Like riding. I mean, how the fuck it
See,
didn't die? I've got no idea.
Because I never actually passed my car test till I was 29.
Yeah, but you.
That's because
yeah.
I always had bikes. So I feel like
you
I'm one of
used to
those sort of
drive them
I'm
as-
one of those bikers that it could snow, it rains, it's nighttime, it's whatever. I'm out on my bike and I sort of considered myself to be a
driving your missus's
proper
car
fucking
illegally.
You say illegally, I say let's not talk about it.
Fair play.
But yeah, interesting. There's a lot of different opinion in the chat about. Well, it's not opinion; it's just comments about what people have paid for bikes. It's quite interesting. Ian Brennan says, "Hey lads, my first live chat." He says he's been watching Jim for a few years now. Absolutely love the videos. Ian from County Waterford, Ireland. He rides a Gen 2 Hayabusa. Chris KTM. I know we've done Chris, haven't we, with your bandit story. People are saying crazy money for new bikes.
Yeah, it's mental, isn't it?
Matt says in 2018 a Tiger 1200 XCA was 17 grand.
Jesus Christ.
Mad.
It's insane.
MKC says a lot of us are being priced out of new bikes. I think I agree.
No, I mean that's why the stuff that was worth. This will be your experience, probably, Mike. Is the stuff that was worthless 15 years ago is now like stupid money.
Yeah.
You know, like you try and find a mint 250 Super Dream. You know,
My dad had one of them.
Did he?
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't give them away. There was and now you're paying thousands.
But they were
of quid.
everywhere though.
I know, they were on every street corner.
Yeah.
They were less than worthless. Like,
Yeah.
I'll give you some money to take this piece of shit away, basically.
Yeah.
And now it's crazy, isn't it? Stuff like that. I've been looking forever for a TDR 250. Remember TDR 250s? Oh, was Mike frozen?
Yeah.
You might have done.
All right.
He'll be back.
You're back. Are you back?
Yeah, it keeps cutting out. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I was just saying.
Every time it does.
I've been looking for a TDR 250 for forever. Remember it was the TZR 250 motor on it, but the sort of traily bike style. They were mostly black and yellow graphics, and I had one back in the day, in the early 90s, and just it was awesome. And I've always hankered after getting another one, but like a bag of bits, a box of bits is like $5 grand. It's fucking stupid. You just can't. Yeah, all that stuff now, and I guess it's because the new stuff is so expensive and it's kind of retro now, isn't it? That stuff, it
reminds people of our age, of our youth.
I suppose it does.
So isn't it? It's people of. I mean, if I used to have a Honda CD125 Bentley, right?
Yeah.
I love that bike.
Yeah, you'd pay money for one now.
I'd pay money for one.
Yeah.
Not because it's a decent bike, but because it just reminds me of good times.
Yeah.
Do you know
what was your very, very first bike?
My very first bike was a Suzuki. It was a 50cc thing.
Right.
It looked a little bit like a, looked like a Bandit, but obviously very miniature compared to it.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was though. Is it ZR50 or something like that? I can't remember. I got a picture of it somewhere. I'm sure you'll be able to tell me what it is.
My first bike was an RD200.
Oh, fucking hell, really?
I bought it off a mate in school without my mum knowing. And it was his dad had, obviously they're a road bike, and normally like the Pike, it's a two-stroke twin, you probably won't know, it was a twin-cylinder two-stroke thing. and the pipes come out of the front and down under the footrest. Well, his dad had swapped the pipes over, so the pipes came up. They were bolted to the shock nut at the top. Yeah. So, and they had to make the footrest a little bit wider, and you used to burn the inside of your legs on these horse pipes. And they got a massive motocross sprocket and welded it over the original sprocket, so it was really low geared, put knobbly tyres on it, and we were tiny little kids. Christ. This thing was like massive. Yeah. We could hardly hold it up, you
hardly wrestle it.
God, I nearly fucking died multiple times on that. But that was my very first foray into, and I bought it and I hid it because my mum would have gone fucking mental. Yeah.
Did you ever come clean?
Eventually, yeah. Right. Yeah, eventually it came out in the wash. I remember the day I told my mum I was gonna be the Saturday boy in the motorbike shop.
Oh yeah.
And she was like, yeah, I think my mum had friends killed on motorbikes. Right, okay. And you know, mothers are they're just worried, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair dues.
Christ.
What's your diary like now, Mike? Up to Christmas. Are you full up? What sort of work are you going to be doing?
Mike will rejoin us after this short musical interlude.
Not that busy, really. Back. I've got a couple of weeks. I've got. What have I got? Just service bikes, really. Right. A few service jobs, multi-strada. Yeah. That monster that I fixed recently.
Mike, what's the job that you get called up for that makes your heart sink and you don't want to go to it?
Well, you just say, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, but, I mean, you must have, and you're like, oh, really?
Well, what happens... Go on, Mike.
I'd say it's the 17-year-olds. Like, you know, you can sort of tell when they ring you up.
Yeah. No, of course you can. Yeah.
And, I want this to have 500 horsepower, and I've got 20 quid to do it.
Really.
Yeah.
My nightmare is, you know, a good customer that's been a customer for a long time will ring me up and say, "Oh, can you just fix my
I need a
son's
quick favour."
And you know, normally I would say no to if somebody rang up out of the blue and wanted something like that doing, I would say no, I'm not doing it. But then you're sort of obliged to say yes, aren't you, when they've put loads of work your way. So that's the bit of it where I go, oh, fucking hell, really? Do I really have to do this? But yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't got... I'm not booking anything else in now till January. I've got a pile of carburetors to work through. There's 12 or 15 sets of carbs. A couple of them are like full restorations, you know, re-zinc everything. So that's, you know, there's a lot of labour in those, as you can probably imagine.
Yeah.
I got a couple of Hayabusa engines coming out of a grass track car for full rebuilds. So that's gonna, you know, that's a big chunk of time.
Talking of Hayabusa engines out of cars.
Oh no, we're not fucking talking about that. I've got this. Oh, you tell the fucking story. I'm not.
Well, no, I think you should tell the story, and then explain to the nice people why you've let it rot for 10 years.
I know I bought it when we moved into the house. Yeah. It's because I've been renovating my house, mate. That's why.
Fucking hell. They built the second Severn crossing quicker than you've done that.
Well, don't just keep them in suspense. Tell them the story.
A long time ago, Jim decided that he was going to buy one of these little sort of ultralight track day car type things with a motorbike engine in it.
It's an MK GT1 for anybody who wants to know.
Okay. It was lovely as well. It you know, really nice. It had, what was it, Sony PlayStation livery on it, wasn't it?
It wasn't lovely, mate.
It was.
A pile of shit
it looked nice, and it looked like it was going to be a lot of fun. And we went and got it, and it started, and, you know, it was fine. Anyway, we got it back to Jim's house, and it's basically sat on his drive under a tree, filling up with water, filling up with leaves. It's actually falling apart, literally falling apart. The rear spoiler is just like falling off of it. I mean, it's just, you should just give it to me.
All right, then.
I could have made it work by now.
It's a project. I'm going to do it for Sam's 18th birthday present.
Fucking hell. You won't be able to get petrol then.
He's just turned 7.
You have to put an electric motor in it. Anyway, slight change of subject. T-Well on the chat wants to say, Jim, what was the piece of kit you used to set the AF mixture on carbs?
He's talking about an AFR meter, isn't he? You've got one of those, haven't you, Mike? Who in the group bought the...
No?
what's it called now? It's called an AF1, I think.
Okay.
It's basically it's a little black box. You might have seen it. It's Albie, wasn't it, in the chat? I think they'd bought one. I can't remember. One of the guys in America.
Yeah, I think so.
It's basically a little black box. What's the make of it? It's gone out of my head now. Basically, it just uses a wideband O2 sensor and gives you an AFR reading on the... I'll tell you exactly the name of it. Stand by. I can't remember now.
Who we got on chat? Hello, Alan. Hello, Tomo.
Find another question and I'll find the
Kenneth.
answer. I can't remember the name of it.
Skip. Matt. Red Casey. Ian. Welcome all. T-Well.
It's an Innovate Motorsport LM2 is what it is. That's the exact thing it is. Couldn't remember that name. Innovate Motorsport, but it's a game changer. I used to use an old OTC 5 gas analyzer. Cost me a fortune back in the day. Little handheld thing with a battery in it, and it's way more. You just need to know what the AFR is. You're not with a motorbike. You're not worried about the hydrocarbons particularly or any of the other stuff. Yeah, it's a game changer. We're setting carburetors up. I love it.
Is there a link to that anyway?
We can put a link in there. But if you just look up LM2 AFR meter.
Okay, there you go. Good tip. Alan on the chat also says he's got an R1200 RT. He says he's having the fuel strip problem.
Okay.
Is there a link somewhere to the Spanish guy who sells them? Haven't you got a link to that in the video that you did? I'm thinking,
yeah, I'm pretty sure in that video. If there isn't, then
there should be.
Just what's the best way? We need some sort of. Is he not a patron? No.
No. I say no. I have no idea.
I'll get you the website address right now. Stand by. Any other questions?
Or he could be a patron.
Well, he could be. If he's a patron, he can just ask in there.
Yeah.
How long ago was it I made that video?
Has anybody in the chat got a question for Mike?
Previously watched a video about shut up now.
Matt wants to know, did your business start as a hobby initially?
Good question. Stand by.
No, that was for Mike.
Oh, right, okay.
Well, I assume it was.
No.
It didn't.
Really?
So mechanicking was something that you wanted to get into in the first place then, was it really? You always fancied a bit of that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So as a kid, like when I was a kid...
Well, yeah. I was in between jobs and, yeah, I just wanted to do it.
Right, okay.
Yeah, fair.
Were you always a tinkerer as a kid? I was always taking stuff apart and not being able to put it back together. And,
oh, yeah.
So it's sort of in your blood, isn't it? That sort of thing. Yeah, right from an early age.
Yeah, definitely.
The website for the fuel strip is all the W's, fuelsensortech.com.
Is that tech as in T-E-C-H?
That is tech as in T-E-C-H, yes.
Fuelsensortech.com.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, and I forget what they were. I think they were about 120 euros, something like that. Yeah,
and of course, you got a video on how to install it as well.
Yeah, and it's a piece of piss.
Yeah.
Once you've if you just watch that video, it's not a complicated thing. What else we got? Oh, hang on, before we go any further, I know what I did want to say for people that are maybe watching this and in Mike's vicinity. So what's your company called, Mike? What do you call yourself?
Fast Bike Servicing.
Sorry, mate. Say again.
Did you get that?
No.
Fast Bike Servicing.
Fast Bike Servicing. Cool. Okay. And have you got is there a website or a phone number or a Facebook page or what's the?
Yeah, I've got a website, Facebook, fastbikeservicing.co.uk.
Okay, that's cool. If you send me a private message in the Discord with any sort of information you might want to have in the
chat,
in the what's it called, the comment section of the video, not the comment section, the bloody hell,
I can't remember what it's called actually. I know what you mean though. What is it? It is the comments section, isn't it?
No, that's where people write.
What do people say? They say, "Oh, look below in the comments section."
No,
don't they? What do they say then? What is it?
Somebody save us.
Do you know what? Do you know what that's called? That's called having a lethological moment.
Is that right? You can remember that, but you can't remember the name of the thing.
That's the irony of the word lethological, is I can always remember what it is without. Yeah.
Mike knows what we mean. Send us any information, mate, you might want sort of tagged in this video, and we'll make sure it's there. And then if somebody watches this by chance, you know what I mean, they'll know where to find you, won't they? Cool.
Yeah.
Any more questions, Benji? We'll probably wrap it up. We don't want to go on forever, do we?
M. Casey says he's sawned a bike recently. Thoughts around basics for wintering.
All right. Do you want to take that, Mike, or do you want me to? We'll have the same answer, I'm sure. Did you hear the question?
Sorry, mate. Could you say that again?
What's the basic advice for wintering a bike, getting it ready to stand up for winter?
Is it fuel injected or carbureted? Don't know.
He says it's a modern bike.
Okay.
Fuel injected.
Yeah.
What it is, yeah.
Just for over winter.
Yeah.
What would your advice be, Mike? Putting you on the spot.
I would say full tank of fuel.
100%. Yeah. Keep the condensation.
That is a really unfortunate moment to freeze, isn't it?
Yeah.
Full tank of fuel. That's it. Just fuel. Mike,
on a trickle truck.
Somebody's watching Netflix at your house, Mike.
Yeah, that is unfortunate timing.
What did he say? Battery on trickle charge?
Yeah, he's going to say exactly what I'm going to say.
What would you say?
Fill the tank to the brim.
Yeah.
So there's no condensation can form.
Oh yeah, good thinking.
Use some fuel stabilizer.
Yeah. And what do you mean, like tablets or sort of pori stuff?
No, pori.
Where'd you get that from?
What's it called? The stuff I use. Get it from Frost Automotive. The stuff I use.
Right.
Mike's probably got advice on good stabilizer. I use the stuff that Frost sell.
Okay.
Fuel stabilizer. Brim the tank. If it's carbs, run it so the fuel stabilizer's in the carbs. Either a trickle charger.
Yeah, I would say with carb bikes. Carb bikes seem to be the worst. I mean, from my experience, it seems like you get about a week before the bike becomes really difficult to run.
100%, yeah.
So
it doesn't take long, does it? You know, it's not that long ago.
If you can, no.
We're getting every other word, Mike. Unfortunately,
I think we're getting slightly less than that.
Yeah,
you've gone.
I was going to say, if you can, drain the fuel out, or
no.
Does super unleaded need a stabilizer?
It's 5% ethanol, so yeah, I did. Yeah, it does. Yeah. So fuel stabilizer, brim the tank. Either disconnect the battery, take it in the house if the bike's somewhere cold, or optimate, that sort of thing. Has Mike gone completely?
I don't know. His video's frozen, isn't it?
Somebody's watching porn in his house.
Yeah. Or he needs to feed his internet connection some Yorkshire tea.
It's not me.
Is it not? No. Oh God. Maybe it's someone watching porn in my house then.
Could be.
That's what it is. Just have to have a word with Emma when I get back in.
All right. Should we knock it on the head?
I think so. Unless anybody else has got anything that they are desperate to say or ask, now is your time. You got 30 seconds.
And sorry about the beginnings of this and swapping the. Oh my God, Ben and I spent an hour and a half this afternoon, didn't we, making sure it was all working.
And it was working perfectly, wasn't it?
And I turned up and it was all working perfect. And I said, Ben, I got this new camera. Can we try this as a webcam?
And then it all broke.
And I plugged it in, and it fucking everything went wrong from that point. I just so frustrating.
I'll do that again.
But it worked eventually.
Yeah.
So sorry for dicking everybody around at the start. So massive thank you, Mike. Thanks for turning up, man, and sitting in your freezing cold garage. And get in the Discord, mate, and send me those details of your links to your various places, your website and your Facebook page and stuff. And I'll make sure they're in the video description.
Yeah, that's it. The description. That's exactly it.
I'll make sure they're in the video description.
Yeah.
And people can find you there.
Yeah. All right.
And we'll reconvene in Discord, I'm sure, Mike, at some point. And
Nice
thanks for getting so involved, by the way,
one.
Mike. I've never really actually thanked you, but you're always straight in there with, helping other people with advice and stuff. And I said earlier on, it's always spot on advice. So thanks, man. It's what makes the group great when people get involved, and that was the whole point of setting it up.
No
you
problem,
know what I
mate.
mean? No, really appreciated.
Grand.
Okay, cool,
Cheers, Mike.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah.
Thanks
No
for
problem,
showing
mate.
up.
Thanks.
All right, cheers, buddy.
All the best.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, man.
See ya.
Right, I'm going to just end Mike for a sec, because we're still on. If I turn that off.
Okay,
We're back. Just only because there's a couple of questions that just came in.
okay.
Matt wants to know, what advice would you give someone considering starting out? I assume he means as a mechanic or a mobile motorbike mechanic or something like that.
Do you mean starting out on your own, or starting out as a 16-year-old getting an apprenticeship? Because they're two completely different questions. If I was giving myself advice when I was a kid,
Yeah.
holy crap, that's a really good question. I think don't be. I think the advice I'd give myself, but I had it anyway. But I think it's what sort of got me far is don't be afraid of hard work and getting stuck in and getting your hands dirty and always volunteering for all the shitty jobs. You know what I mean? If you want to sort of that.
Is it the cliche of you got to start sweeping the floor
No, you're absolutely,
and earn your stripes and
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And God, I could talk for hours
well,
about that.
maybe that's a one for another night then.
Yeah, it probably is. That's like a whole episode. I would say that, and I say this all the time in a lot of my videos, every day is a school day. Just don't assume
You know everything.
you know everything,
Yeah,
because there are so many fucking smart ass people in the world that just think they know it all. And as soon as you've got that mindset, you just shut yourself off to all the new information, don't you? So just be open-minded. And
it seems to me it's one of those things where, and it's probably like this in a lot of different industries, where the more you know, the more you realise you don't know.
That's
isn't
exactly
it? It's
right.
one of them.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why people
Yeah.
say a little bit of information is dangerous.
100%.
Because unless you've got a little bit more than just a little bit,
Yeah.
you think you've cracked it.
I mean, I literally, and it sounds mad. When I'm making a video about a subject, you really have to sort of examine your knowledge.
Yeah.
Because if you've got to try and teach it to somebody, you've got to have like an extra understanding of the subject. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a good way of, sort of testing your own
I mean,
understanding.
it's very often the case, isn't it? Anything that's technical, if you've got the ability to be able to explain it so a layman can understand it, that's a good indication of your level of understanding of the problem in the first place.
Yeah, no, it is. And then that question, if you're starting out on your own in business, the single most important thing, I think, is, and we talk about this in the Discord quite a lot, I've had these conversations before, is you've got to get your pricing right. Don't ever think that people buy on price, because price, and I know it sounds alien to a lot of you, but price is like the fourth or fifth thing that people will consider. You know, they want you to be efficient, they want you to turn up on time, all these stupid things you wouldn't really think are important to people, but a lot of people can't get these things right. Do you know what I mean? You've got, obviously, it goes without saying you've got to do a good job, but you've got to be punctual. You've got to
but
be
that's the
clean
minimum.
and tidy. You've got to be good with your communication.
Do you know what I don't work in the motorbike industry, but I think this covers most industries. The thing that I've come to learn is what people really want is convenience.
No, absolutely.
That's the word that for me just fulfills out. That's why there's Deliveroo. I want it to be convenient. I don't want to have any effort. If I hire you to do a job, it's got to work seamlessly.
That's why...
with a minimal amount of input from me to get from where my bike is now to being fully serviced or fixed or whatever it is.
Yeah. That's why all the mobile motorcycle mechanics I know, Mike being got more work than they know what to do with.
Yeah.
If they're any good as a mechanic.
Absolutely.
Because they're offering convenience, aren't they?
Yeah.
So when based on that, if the question was about starting out on your own, just don't get too hung up on the price. And I think I've talked about this before, but there's a pyramid in any industry. I'm sure I have something to say about this maybe, but in any industry there's a pyramid of people, especially the service industry, where there's a load of people scratching around along the bottom, trying to compete on price.
Yeah.
And
it's a race to the bottom.
It's a race to the bottom. They're working 23.5 hours a day and they're making no money. And then there's the guy on the top who's making really good money and he's doing a 40-hour week.
And he's aspirational.
And he's aspirational
to the customers.
So
that's
price,
the thing, isn't it?
And price communicates all sorts of things about, you know, if you wanted a builder to I don't know, build a wall, and a builder came along and said, "Oh, I'll do it for 30 quid, mate." And then another builder came along and said, "It's 500 quid." And he gave you an estimate with all the breakdown of the materials and the labour and stuff. You'd go with a 500 quid one, wouldn't you?
Right.
Because you knew what you were getting. Price communicates something without you... Anyway, fucking I'll go on and on about that.
It's another episode, isn't it?
Yeah, it's more than that.
Right, okay, let's wrap it up. One last thing, though. When are you going to do a video on the old analyzer in your workshop?
Oh, crikey. The old...
Yeah. The old, is it a diagnostic thing?
Yeah, it's an old... We mentioned it, didn't we? Is that a question?
Yeah.
Oh, crikey, okay. I need to drag it out and plug it in and get it, you know, it's literally not covered in cobwebs, but no, it would be amazing, actually. That would be and it is the most steampunk thing in the world. It's got this big CRT oscilloscope on it. It's got this big analog multimeter, and it all lights up cool too, and it's got Honda motorcycle diagnostics that lights up across the top of it. I mean, I don't know whether any of it works. It's years since it was ever turned on, but
it's got to be worth a go, though, isn't it?
But it'll be a trip down memory lane for me, that, because that's what I used when I was an apprentice.
Skips, got it right. Yeah, buy cheap, buy twice.
Absolutely. That just
that reminds me of a meme that I saw the other day, and it was on a piece of wood, and it said, "Measure twice, cut, onk." Which I thought was quite funny. Right, okay, that's it.
We got there in the end, Benji.
We got there in the end. We always seem to get there in the end, though, don't we? I wish it didn't take like 3 years off my life.
If you could have been here like 5 minutes before we started, there were a lot of C words.
There were a lot.
A lot of F's and C's.
I don't know why it didn't work. It should have worked.
It's my fault for plugging my posh camera into your crappy Apple laptop.
Well, you're banned from doing that now.
Okay. Right. Thank you guys for showing up. And these are not, clearly, you know this already, they're not going to be a weekly thing.
We want it to be.
We want it to be, but just
life gets in the way.
We've both got kids. Ben's away working loads. It's impossible. So they're just going to be as and when.
Yeah.
And they're always going to be on this Two Blokes Talking channel, not the Superbike Surgery channel. Okay.
Right.
That's that.
Thanks, everybody.
Cool.
Really appreciate your company. See you on the next one.
Happy days. Cool.
Ending stream in 3, 2, 1. Oh, no, not, because I've got fucking confirmation box. 3, 2, 1.
That's it.